Greetings to all my dear students. Let's move on to the next chapter in the Twilight Rain, written by Matsuo Basho. Matsuo Basho is a 17th century Japanese haiku poet. He was born in 1644 near Kyoto, Japan, to a minor samurai and his wife as Matsuo Kinzagu. Matsuo Kinzagu is his first name. And during his childhood, he studied with a local poet, Kigin. And later he studied Chinese poetry and Taoism and soon began writing haiku no renka, a form of linked verses composed in collaboration. Basho's siblings became farmers while he grew interested in literature. So I told you, soon he began writing haiku no renka, and it is a form of linked verses composed in collaboration. The opening verse of a renka, known as a haiku, Hokku, is structured as 3 unrhymed lines of 5, 7 and 5 syllables. So haiku means 3-line short poem with total 17 syllables. First line contains 5 syllables, second line contains 7 syllables, and the third line contains 5 syllables. So in Basho's time, poets were beginning to take the haiku's form as a template for composing small standalone poems, engaging natural imagery, a form that eventually became known as haiku. So you are familiar with the term haiku. So Basho was the master of haiku form. He published his haiku poems, or simply haiku, under several names, including Tosei, Tosei, out of respect for the Chinese poet Li Po. So then he published his haiku poems in numerous anthologies like Seashell Game, Shriveled Chestnuts, and so on. Then later, in his 20s, Basho moved to Edo near Tokyo, where he joined a rapidly growing literary community. And in 1680, he got Basho trees as a gift from one of his students. So just after that, he began to write under the name Basho, Basho. His work, rooted in observation of the natural world as well as in historical and literary concerns, engages themes of stillness and movement in a voice that is by turns self-questioning, wry and oracular. Then later, Basho began to study Zen Buddhism. Then around 1682, Basho began the months-long journeys on foot that would become the material for a new poetic form he created called Haibun, Haibun. So by 1682, he created, or he gave rise to, a new form of writing, that is Haibun. A prose come poetic piece. Actually, it's a poetic piece, like a haiku. But Haibun is different. Haibun is another poetic form created by Basho. So Haibun means it is a hybrid form alternating fragments of prose and haiku to trace a journey. So he started writing Haibun just after his month-long journeys. Haibun imagery follows 2 parts. It includes 2 types of images. The first one is the external images observed during the journey, and the second image is the internal images that move through the traveler's mind during the journey. He wrote many haibuns, and his major haibuns are Nazarashi Kiko or Travelogue of Weather-Beaten Bonds, published in 1685. Then the Knapsack Notebook, published in 1688. Then Sarojina Travelogue, published in 1688. Yeah, in the same year. Then his most well-known haiku is Narrow Road to the Interior. Okay, it recounts the last long walk Basho completed with his disciple Sora. Okay, 1,200 miles covered over 5 months, beginning in May 1689. Okay, so while their days were spent walking, in the evenings they often socialized and wrote with students and friends who lived along their route. Then he published this haiku in 1702. Okay, so Basho is the pioneer or the master of haiku. Okay, so let me tell regarding haiku. Okay, so haiku is an unrhymed poetic form consisting of 17 syllables arranged in 3 lines of 5, 7 and 5 syllables respectively. Okay, so actually the hokku became haiku in the late only in the late 19th century. Okay, other haiku masters are Buson, Buson of 18th century, then Isa of 19th century, and so on. Then a poem written in the haiku form or a modification of it in a language other than Japanese is called haiku. For example, imagist writers of 20th century wrote haiku. Then regarding haiku, traditionally haikus contain 3 parts, 2 images and a concluding line which helps to juxtapose them. Okay, the best known haiku in Japanese literature is called Old Pond, written by Basho himself. Okay, Old Pond is one of the best known haiku in Japanese literature. Okay, let me read that poem. Old pond. A frog lives in water's sound. Okay, so this is that poem, that haiku, with only 3 lines. Okay, so there are many inner meanings to this poem. Okay, that's why these 3 lines are called as haiku. Then Basho's poetry is prominent with simplicity. Okay, then there are no analysis of politics or love triangles or family dramas. The point is to remind readers that what really matters is to be able to be content with our own company, to appreciate the moment we are in, and to be attuned to the very simplest things life has to offer. Then the changing of seasons, the sound of our neighbors laughing across the street, the little surprises we encounter when we travel. Okay, so such things he discussed through his haiku poems. He also used natural scenes to remind the readers that flowers, weather, and other natural elements, like our own lives, are ever changing and fleeting. Okay, so he focused on the transience of life. Okay, he tried to convey the fact that life is transient through his poems. Then in literature, Basho valued lightness, Lightness. That particular term is karumi, Karumi. Okay, so he wanted it to seem as if children had written it. Okay, as he told his disciples, in my view, a good poem is one in which the form of the verse and the joining of its 2 parts seem light as a shallow river flowing over its sandy bed. Okay, so the ultimate goal of this lightness was to allow readers to escape the burdens of the self in order to experience unity with the world beyond. Okay, so Basho believed that poetry could allow one to feel a brief sensation of merging with the natural world. Okay, so one may become through language. Okay, through language one may become the rock, the water, the stars, okay, leading one to an enlightened frame of mind known as muga, or a loss of awareness of oneself. Okay, muga, M-U-G-A, means self-forgetting. Okay, so this is all regarding the Japanese poet Matsuo Basho and his poetic form haiku. Let's move on to the poem In the Twilight Rain, written by Matsuo Basho. In the twilight rain, these brilliant hued hibiscus, a lovely sunset. As you know, this is a haiku. So the first line has 5 syllables, the second line has 7 syllables, and the third line again has 5 syllables. The first line, in the twilight rain. Okay, this is the background of the poem or the setting. Okay, normally a twilight rain represents sadness and gloominess. Okay, the dim light with the cold rain makes the reader feel depressed and down. So the poet is looking outside and feeling the nature. It is the time of a sunset and it is raining. Okay, something is happening there in the twilight rain. Yeah. These brilliant hued hibiscus. Okay, so the poet sees some brilliant colored hibiscus flowers in the twilight rain. Okay, hibiscus flower represents different ideas in different cultures. In Japan, hibiscus means gentleness and it is a symbol of honor. So, a gentle hibiscus becomes an offering of thanks to the earth and all its beings. Okay, the flower is beautiful in that twilight rain. Then the expression brilliant hued symbolizes all the beautiful and tranquil things in nature. Okay, it represents the beauty and elegance in nature. Yeah, the poet enjoys the beauty of that hibiscus flower or flowers. Yeah, the poet writes these brilliant hued hibiscus. Okay, so there are more than one hibiscus flowers. And these hibiscus flowers are drenched in rain. A lovely sunset. Okay, so sunset time. Then there is rain and these hibiscus flowers are drenched in rain. Okay, so the poet asks the readers to look around and take in everything the earth has to offer. And it will be a relaxation procedure for us. Okay, we can relax from all our worries. Okay, so this particular expression, lovely sunset, makes the reader feel safe and relaxed. And it also hints at the theme of beauty. Yeah, lovely sunset. It means beauty. Okay, brilliant hued hibiscus shows beauty, the concept of beauty. A lovely sunset again shows the concept of beauty. Okay, so the poet Matsuo Basho says, yeah, there are some hibiscus flowers, brilliant colored, colorful hibiscus flowers in this twilight rain. And these flowers make the sunset more lovely. And the poet asks the readers to enjoy the beauty of nature amidst your worries. Yes, as I said earlier, the works of Matsuo Basho are mere observation of the natural world. And his brevity and clarity in writing reflects here too, in this haiku too. Okay, so you need to remember about the structure of a haiku, then regarding its brevity and clarity, and Matsuo Basho was a master in writing haiku. Yes, you can find some ellipses in the second line. It may suggest you to think much deeper regarding yourself and about the nature. So, in short, the haiku in the Twilight Rain represents beauty. Okay, the beauty of nature, the beauty of yourself, and the extent to which we can enjoy the beauty around us. Okay, we see many flowers, we feel the rain, we watch the sunset, but yeah, we should enjoy it. Okay, we may have many other worries, but keeping all those worries aside, we have to enjoy the beauty of nature, the beautiful things that the earth offers. Okay, so this is the poem, or this is the haiku by Matsuo Basho, the Japanese poet. Okay, thank you.